What is His Life Ministries? His Life Ministries is a Jesus-centered and Bible-based church composed of the networks of children, youth, men and women, committed to glorify God and make disciples. Our process: win, bringing the lost to a salvation relationship with Jesus Christ. Each one, reach one. Bond, consolidating believers into the church family for victorious Christian living. Each one, build one. Train, equipping disciples in the vision and values of His Life Ministries. Each one, teach one. Send, releasing servant leaders to multiply small groups and launch churches to reach the multitudes. Each one, lead one. His Life Ministries, glorify God and make disciples.
Good morning. Welcome to His Life Ministries, Ayala Capital Central, where imperfect people are perfectly welcome. We hold services every Sunday at 10:15 a.m. at the Cinema 1, 4th floor of the Ayala Capital Center. But obviously not today. Today we are holding services online until the cinemas open. But that's not going to stop us from bringing the word of the Lord to you and to minister to people. Today is an exciting day as well because we are starting off a new series called Heritage, and our title comes from the whole psalm, which reads, "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate." Are you tired of things breaking down in your house, or things not being built right, therefore not functioning right? Like a drain always clogging, a funny smell in the pipes, or a door that's always stuck. These are little things, but it can drag you down, make you feel miserable, ruin your day. Believe me, I am one of those people who spent a big amount of money building your dream house, only to find out that it was built by amateurs. It seems there's a lot of them going around these days, especially with the construction boom. Are you afraid of thieves breaking into your house late at night, or people stealing your property, your hard-earned money? Again, I can totally relate. I once lived in a house where I had 2 burglary attempts in 1 week, most likely 2 different groups of people. Can you imagine that? Do you have a lot of children and you are wondering if you can afford to raise them all? Send them to school, feed them, care for them. Again, I can relate. I have 4 kids. I also come from a family of 5 children, both my parents from a family of 7 and 8. So many questions to be answered, and these are questions that I'm sure most of you can relate to. And it's a good thing that we have the whole month of June to go through the whole psalm, and our focus this month is on our family. Next week, we are going to talk about the father as an image of Christ in the family. And on week 3, we are going to talk about children as God's heritage. And week 4, family as God's strategy for nation building. But today, I would like to focus on the general theme of Psalm 127. How do all these seemingly unrelated topics go together in one general idea? At first glance, the whole Psalm 127 looks like it's a bit off. In Ilonggo, it's kalat, an incoherent message. But actually, it is not. You will see later. On verse 1, we see 2 people, the builder and the watcher. Here we see the role both parents play. The father will most likely build, the mother will most likely watch. But we always hear stories of children missing the mark. In verse 2, we see description of anxiety, sleeping late, waking up early. In today's high-pressure environment, we see a lot of that. Truly, Filipinos, their lives have really improved of late. We have more cars on the streets now, more people are building and owning houses, and there are more fat Filipinos than even before. Hence, we see gyms opening left and right, and all of that progress, all of that improvement, they come at a price. From working graveyard shift for a call center employee to being out at sea for months for mariners or the seamen, and being away from family for most OFWs. Now, I have a friend in my life group, for example, his youngest baby was born with him out at sea. And worse, the baby was sick and had a problem with bowel movement. I can't imagine how he felt, but that made him all the more closer to God and prayerful. The church also joined them in prayer, and a day before she was to be operated, she gained bowel movement and no longer needing operation. So praise the Lord. And I would imagine his relief when that happened. The author of Psalm 127 sees it. All of our efforts are in vain without God. This COVID-19 alone puts our economy to waste, threatens our security, both financially and physically. Without God, it's all vanity, vanity. Sounds like Ecclesiastes, doesn't it? Well, no surprise, because this psalm was written by Solomon, the same Solomon who wrote Ecclesiastes. That is also the key to understanding the whole psalm, and how verses 1 and 2 relates to 3 and 5, and when he talks about children. Solomon, son of David, is the builder of the first temple. If you remember, David wanted to build the Lord, his temple, but David gets too much blood in his hands, so God said, it shall be Solomon who shall build the temple. So Solomon did. But he did not only build the first temple, he also built his own house, which is even grander and bigger and more expensive than that of the Lord. Then he built another big one for his wife, the daughter of Pharaoh. He might have misplaced priorities, but definitely he is a builder. As king, he is also a watcher, for the security of the city and the nation is his responsibility. Solomon is saying that unless the Lord builds, you build in vain. Unless the Lord watches, you watch in vain. Vanity, vanity. And if you are a builder, and if you are a watcher, a king wanting expansion and progress, you need people. Skilled professionals, workers, and soldiers, then managers, and generals to run all of these things for you. I am a businessman. When my business was growing, I can't seem to find the right people fast enough. I need lots of people that can be trusted, has the right skills, works honestly, so that the quality and quantity of work is excellent, and keep my customers happy in the process, and keep my business growing. It's during those times that you wish your kids were old enough to work already. So here we see the general theme of this psalm. The building and watching, which is defensive in nature, and then growth, expansion, and scale, which are offensive in nature, hence arrows. You need the Lord in defense. It is futile without him. In offense, your growth is a reward, a heritage granted to you by the Lord in the form of children. Do you see it now? Does this therefore mean that we are to direct the paths of our children? I would say yes, especially in a spiritual sense, as in Proverbs 22, verse 6, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. But career-wise, well, personally, not the Lord, as the Paul would say, I think you should likewise do the same, but do it as God does it. Deal with your children according to their gifts. Overrule the decisions when they say, for example, they want to be part of a troupe of dancers touring the countrysides for money. Rather, find them a place in the empire that you are building. They can always pursue their passions in their free time, So therefore, if you are a man or a woman looking to expand your kingdom, whether that may be a small patch of land you are farming, a few heads of pigs you are raising, or a business empire like ABS-CBN, SM, Ayala Corporation, and so many other family-run businesses, children are our reward. Children are a heritage. They are not burdens. You are just looking at it with different eyes. Why else would the Lord say in Genesis 1:28, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it"? If you are a father or a mother, look at your children now. They are a heritage, meaning they are your inheritance from the Lord. An inheritance is something of value you didn't work hard for or didn't work for. They are just given to you, a reward. So I hope you like our series this month of June. See you again next week, and God bless all of you.